talked about you wrote this, I think you said after a brutal stint in New York, like something like that.
Yeah. I was like working for this fucking asshole visual artist who he was just a gnarly guy. He to be fair, he came from a really weird background and like had all these crazy things, and he like made it in New York when everybody was coming up, like John Chamberlain, who is like his mentor, who's like this like junk visual artist who creates these crazy sculptures out of literal junk, but like they sell for tons of money now. John Chamberlain's died. This guy was his like protege, and so he came up in New York, was like Joni Mitchell's best friend, blah, blah, blah. But he was just like such an asshole and totally treated me so poorly. And along with a friend who I was working with him for, but it was like really important for me because on a certain level, I like connected with him really deeply and was able to really empathize with him. And it kind of showed me like this dude had everything. Like he had made it as an artist. He totally did it through the back doors of society. Like, and he had a beautiful studio, beautiful houses, blah, 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 but he was a miserable person. And it just like really resonated with me. And it was like one of those lessons where I'm like, damn, I really needed to see that because life is so not goal oriented in that way. Like you can get everything you want, but if you're not doing what's true to you, and if you're not doing, I think like, you know, the values based work, then like you end up, you know, old and alone, even if you have everything and everybody with you, like your heart dries up. And so that was kind of my feelings, like in the song Find Out. It's like it talks a lot about like telling somebody before they die, like can you have them find out what it means to be like faithful to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And that whole song is just like a conversation I'm having with myself about like leaving behind this idea of like almost being like, okay, I've checked all the boxes, but like why am I not receiving the things that I thought I was going to receive?
Yeah.
And it kind of was just going back to that mindset that like this guy had, which was just like, well, I'm doing everything, but I'm still a victim or something, you know?
Yeah.
And opposed to just being like, no, like I'm going to actively like move towards the things that I'm bad at, like being empathetic or compassionate or whatever. And like, it's funny because obviously like in today's world right now, like I think everybody needs to perhaps like move towards more compassionate and empathetic and collective ways of being. So I guess the album works in that way. But
Huh.
yeah, like I don't know. I wrote it during that time. I also was like going through a gnarly breakup with someone who I loved very much, and like it was like one of those things where again, like I was transforming my idea of like what it means to hold love or have love for somebody, and how it's not always in like relationship form because you know that's just the way life is. But it was just breaking barriers. And then I went to Colombia to backpack with like I don't know, the little money I had because it was a super cheap place to be. And I wrote a bunch of these songs there, and I was just like super lonely backpacking, and I like really was like doing my thing on a solo mission, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really like trying to make friends or do much. I was just kind of like in this introspective place. And so, yeah, a lot of these songs were just like born through, I guess, hardship, which you hear is always some sort of motif through like good art or art in
Yeah.
general. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how these were born. But it took time and they hatched really slowly. And a lot of them I tried to not overcomplicate, you know, like I didn't add lyrics where I didn't think there needed to be lyrics, or I didn't kind of pontificate like upon like all these ideas. Like on the song Kiss Me, it's just like me repeating myself 1,000 times and it just resonates. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's all kind of like I said, homegrown.